They coveted your divine blessings and unique abilities, plotting to claim your spiritual gifts as their own. Little did they know that the universe operates on perfect balance and divine justice. In a powerful reversal, the divine has redirected your hardships, challenges, and emotional burdens directly to them as a spiritual examination. Now they face the weight of your suffering, a cosmic test they never anticipated but must endure as payment for their envious intentions. They saw the crown but not the weight. They saw the glory but not the scars underneath. They saw the light but were blind to the darkness you had to wade through to find it. And now, the spiritual pendulum swings with thunderous force. What they sent your way, the obstacles, the sabotage, the whispered lies, returns to them sevenfold. The universe keeps immaculate records. Nothing goes unseen by the divine accountant. You stand firm while they crumble. You breathe deep while they suffocate under the weight of their own machinations. You rise with the morning sun while they sink deeper into the quicksand of their own making. Make no mistake, what they thought was a game of chess was actually a test of spiritual endurance. And you, precious vessel of divine purpose, were built for the long game. Built to withstand, built to outlast, built to overcome. The ball isn't just in your court, it's supercharged with the very energy they tried to steal from you, and they never saw it coming. Remember this, while they plotted in darkness, you were being prepared in silence. While they schemed with mortal minds, heaven was strategizing on your behalf. While they moved pieces on an earthly board, cosmic forces were aligning to ensure your victory. The upper hand they thought they held was merely a phantom, a divine illusion allowed to exist just long enough for them to reveal the true nature of their hearts. Their supposed advantage was nothing but a mirage in the desert of their own deception. Look at them now, drowning in the very waters they thought would carry them to your throne. They believed your power was a costume they could wear, a mask they could put on, a role they could play. But divine energy can't be counterfeited. Your power wasn't found, it was forged. Forged in the furnace of rejection, tempered in the waters of isolation, strengthened in the winds of adversity. Remember those nights, when tears soaked your pillow and doubt filled your lungs? When prayers seemed to hit the ceiling and fall back down? When your knees ached from kneeling and your voice grew hoarse from pleading? They never saw that part. They only saw what came after the breaking, after the molding, after the refining. And now, God has given them your pain, not as punishment, but as revelation. They wanted what you had without understanding what it cost you. So now the divine has opened the floodgates. Let them taste what you endured. Let them feel the weight that bent your back, but never broke your spirit. See how they buckle under the pressure that made you bulletproof. See how they cry out for relief from what you learned to breathe through. See how they search for shortcuts when you knew there were none. The suffering they now endure isn't even yours anymore. You've already transmuted it into power, into wisdom, into grace. They're drowning in waters you've learned to part with your faith. They're fighting battles you've already won. They're facing demons you've already named and tamed. Their theft became their sentence. Their envy became their burden. They reached for your blessings and grabbed your battles instead, not realizing those battles had already been decided in the courts of heaven. The midnight hours you spent wrestling with your purpose while others slept, they face those now. The rejection that once cut through your confidence like a knife, they feel that sting now. The doubt that once wrapped around your mind like poisonous vines, they struggle with that suffocation now, yet you stand transformed by what nearly destroyed you. You stand victorious over what once threatened to devour you. You stand purified by the very flames they thought would consume you. And now those same flames test their metal, reveal their impurities, expose their counterfeit intentions. Watch as the spectacle unfolds. Their obsession with becoming you has become the very ammunition for their self-destruction. Remember how they studied your every move? How they adopted your language, infiltrated your circles, planted themselves in your garden hoping to grow your flowers. That fixation has become their prison. That envy has become their poison. Where once they gathered allies against you, now stands a circle of emptiness. The very friends they used as weapons have turned their backs. The very confidants who carried their secrets now spread them like wildfire. The very supporters who lifted them up now step aside to watch them fall. The snakes they sent to bite your heels now coil around their own throats. The traps they set along your path now catch their own feet. The lies they spread about your name now stain their own reputation. The cosmic irony echoes through the spiritual realm. In their desperate attempt to replicate your essence, they lost their own. In their obsession with wearing your face, they forgot how to recognize their own reflection. In their pursuit of stealing your light, they extinguished their own flame, and the divine orchestrator allows it all to unfold. Not with anger, but with perfect justice. Not with vengeance, but with cosmic balance. Not with cruelty, but with necessary truth. Their undoing wasn't crafted by human hands. No schemes were needed, no plots required. Their envy contained the seeds of its own destruction, and now those seeds bloom into a garden of consequences they must walk through alone. Notice how their words now struggle to find receptive ears, how their presence now causes rooms to empty rather than fill, how their touch now withers what once would have flourished under yours. This isn't coincidence, it's consequence. This isn't bad luck, it's divine alignment. The same people they manipulated against you now see through the thin veil of their deception. The same audiences they performed for now recognize the hollowness behind their words. The same opportunities they seized through counterfeit qualifications now expose the emptiness of their true capacity. What they failed to understand was that envy is not just a sin, it's a spiritual corrosive that eats away at the vessel attempting to contain what was never meant for it. It's a cosmic acid that dissolves the very foundations they stand upon. It's a divine repellent that pushes away the very blessings they tried to attract. Feel the shift in the atmosphere. The divine classroom is in session, and they've been enrolled without consent. They coveted your anointing. They salivated over your favor. They lusted after your spiritual authority. But they never understood that anointing isn't transferred. It's earned. Favor isn't stolen. It's granted. Authority isn't taken. It's bestowed after proving worthy. So God, in infinite wisdom, opened the curtain, showed them the backstage of your breakthrough, revealed the price of your prominence, unveiled the cost of your calling. They're experiencing the nights when your faith was tested beyond measure, the seasons when your purpose seemed impossible to fulfill, the moments when giving up seemed like the only logical choice, the temptations that nearly pulled you under, the betrayals that left you questioning everything, the silence from heaven that made you wonder if you'd been forgotten. Now they stagger under the weight of the very cross they mocked you for carrying. They gasp for air in the depths you learned to breathe in. They scream for rescue from the fire that refined you. Listen, can you hear their desperate prayers, their sudden pleas for mercy, their newfound understanding that what you carry isn't a prize to be won, but a commission to be fulfilled? Too late, they realize the crown they coveted sits atop a head that learned to bow in humility. The voice they envied first learned to be silent and listen. The hands they wanted to imitate first learned to serve without recognition. God didn't punish them. God educated them, showed them the full curriculum of what it takes to stand where you stand. And in that divine education comes the most painful revelation. They were never prepared for what they so desperately wanted to steal. The lonely roads you traveled when companions abandoned your vision. They walk those paths now. The sacrifice of comfort, of security, of approval that you made. They face those decisions now. The disciplining of your flesh, your mind, your desires that you submitted to, they confront that necessity now. And unlike you who surrendered to the process, they resist it. Unlike you who embraced the refining, they fight against it. Unlike you who thanked God for both the pleasant and the painful, they curse what they don't understand. This divine education isn't meant to destroy them, but to awaken them. Not to punish them, but to redirect them. Not to condemn them, but to show them that what they truly need isn't found in copying another, but in discovering their own divine assignment. Look, the system's been rigged from day one, and if you've got your eyes open, you can feel it. The walls are closing in. So let's get real about what we're doing. Living paycheck to paycheck, at the mercy of the market. That's a game built for you to lose. They own the land, the profits, the rules, and they keep you distracted while they stack the deck. But we don't beg the house for scraps. We build our own table. Yes, the Obsidian inner order has paywalls, because it takes real fuel to wage war against the machine. Those who stand with us, who keep this mission alive, they give us the firepower to push deeper, see further, and strike where it counts. And for that, they get exclusive access, a live 1-hour weekly group tarot reading, delivering guidance, clarity, and insight straight from the universe's source code. But here's the deal. Kicking someone when they're already down? That ain't our style. Starting today, you can steal the Astral Atom exclusive daily newsletter for free. No paywall, no strings. Just jump into the free tier of our Patreon. Link in the description. This is more than just us talking at you. This is a two-way channel. Reply to any email. We'll read it. We'll hear you. And we'll get you an answer from the universe itself. If you can support, we need you in the fight. If you can't, take what's free and sharpen your mind. The Obsidian inner order is open. Now, let's get back to work. They thought your mantle was just a garment to be worn. Your authority just a title to be claimed. Your anointing just a feeling to be experienced. But now, the full weight of reality crushes their misconceptions. Your crown, too heavy for their untested head. Your voice, too powerful for their untrained lungs. Your mission, too sacred for their uncommitted heart. The temptations they once gleefully threw in your path now circle back like starved wolves. The doubts they planted in others about you now take root in their own minds. The fears they hoped would paralyze you now keep them awake at night. The spiritual high court has ruled, and the verdict echoes through eternity. What they attempted to steal was never transferable. The gifts they coveted were never separable from the vessel chosen to carry them. The blessings they envied were never detachable from the purpose they were meant to fulfill. Look at their hands, empty. Look at their efforts, futile. Look at their counterfeit power, fading. What they stole was never yours to lose in the first place. What they grabbed was merely the shadow of your substance. What they imitated was only the echo of your essence. The spiritual DNA they tried to replicate can't be synthesized in the laboratory of envy. The divine fingerprint they attempted to forge can't be duplicated by human ambition. The heavenly signature they hoped to copy can't be reproduced by earthly schemes. And now they stand exposed, not just to others, but finally to themselves. The masquerade ends not with applause, but with the deafening silence of truth. Observe how their assumed identity fractures under pressure, how their borrowed authority dissolves when challenged, how their stolen confidence evaporates in the heat of genuine trial. What they're discovering, painfully, publicly, undeniably, is that carrying your assignment requires more than wearing your style. It demands a vessel specifically designed for its contents. It requires a foundation purposefully built for its structure. It needs a character intentionally formed for its weight. The illusion breaks not all at once, but in excruciating increments. First, small cracks in their facade. Then, widening fissures in their performance. Finally, complete collapse of the character they thought they could sustain. And in that collapse comes their greatest opportunity, to finally abandon the exhausting charade of being someone else and discover who they were actually created to be. Perceive what remains hidden to natural eyes. The spiritual ammunition they fired at you now circles back with supernatural precision. Remember the false accusations, the character assassination attempts, The whisper campaigns designed to diminish your influence? These were never just human tactics. They were spiritual weapons deployed against your divine assignment. But spiritual warfare follows cosmic laws that cannot be broken. What is sent returns. What is released comes back. What is unleashed eventually finds its origin point, again, often with multiplied force. The psychic attacks they directed toward your mind now invade their own thoughts. The emotional warfare they waged against your heart now floods their own feelings. The relational division they sowed in your circle now fractures their own connections. The dark arts they practiced in secret chambers now practice themselves upon the very ones who summoned them. The demonic assistance they enlisted now demands payment they cannot afford. The cosmic debts they accumulated now come due with interest they never calculated. You never had to fight these battles directly. The heavenly bureaucracy handles such matters with perfect efficiency. The angelic accounting department keeps flawless records. The cosmic collections agency never fails to balance accounts. Feel the acceleration of your ascent. The divine catapult is activated and your trajectory defies gravity. Those setbacks, they weren't detours, they were preparation. Those delays, they weren't denial, they were divine timing. Those obstacles, they weren't barriers, they were building blocks. Doors that once remained stubbornly shut now swing open before you even reach for the handle. Opportunities that once seemed distant now appear at your doorstep unannounced. Connections that once seemed impossible now form effortlessly, as if guided by an unseen hand. Meanwhile, watch as their carefully constructed facade crumbles. The platform they built on shifting sand now sinks beneath their feet. The alliances forged through manipulation now dissolve like morning mist. The acclaim gathered through deception now turns to scrutiny and suspicion. They thought they were burying you, but they didn't realize you were a seed. With every shovelful of dirt they heaped upon you, they only pushed you deeper into your purpose. With every attempt to cover your light, they only gave you the darkness, needed to grow stronger roots. And now you emerge. Not as they last saw you, but transformed, refined, unstoppable. Your voice carries new authority. Your presence commands new respect. Your impact creates new ripples across dimensions they can't even perceive. Their downfall isn't your doing. It's the natural consequence of attempting to defy spiritual law. Like gravity pulling back what was thrown upward with false force, the universe simply restores balance. As you accelerate, they decelerate. As you expand, they contract. As you flourish, they wither. Not because you wished it upon them, but because the cosmic equation must be balanced. The spiritual ledger must be reconciled. The divine order must be restored. Your rising isn't dependent on their falling, but their falling is the inevitable result of trying to rise through theft rather than truth, through copying rather than creating, through taking rather than earning. So rise without restraint. Soar without looking back. Your wings were always meant for higher altitudes than they could ever reach by climbing on the backs of others. Notice how your words now carry weight that moves mountains. How your presence now brings peace that calms storms. How your touch now carries healing that restores what was broken. These aren't random developments. They're divine downloads activated precisely when needed. They're spiritual upgrades installed after your system proved capable of handling them. They're heavenly reinforcements arriving at the perfect strategic moment. While they frantically grasp at disappearing opportunities, yours multiply beyond your capacity to pursue them all. While they desperately try to maintain appearances, your reality exceeds even your own expectations. While they exhaust themselves, keeping up pretenses, you rest in the effortless flow of authentic purpose. Recognize the divine alchemy that transformed their poison into your medicine, their weapons into your tools, their attacks into your armor. Every lie they spread about you became a truth you were forced to embody more fully. Every accusation they hurled at you became an area you strengthened beyond reproach. Every weakness they tried to exploit became a fortress no enemy can now penetrate. Their attempts to expose you only drove you deeper into authenticity. Their efforts to shame you only pushed you further into unapologetic purpose. Their strategy to isolate you only connected you more deeply to your divine source. The rejection that was meant to break you, it built your independence. The betrayal that was meant to embitter you, it refined your discernment. The abandonment that was meant to defeat you, it established your self-sufficiency. Now you stand, bulletproof, where once you were vulnerable, fireproof, where once you were flammable, stormproof, where once you could be shaken, not through your own strength, but through the divine engineering that used their attacks as building material for your protection. Not through your own wisdom, but through the heavenly architect that incorporated their strikes into the blueprint of your fortification. The very areas they targeted most viciously are now your areas of greatest authority. The precise aspects of your character they sought to destroy are now your most powerful attributes. The specific gifts they tried to discredit are now your most undeniable strengths. Their attacks didn't diminish you, they developed you. Didn't weaken you, they weaponized you. Didn't destroy you, they defined you. And now, clothed in the armor forged from their own aggression, you stand impenetrable. Not just surviving their worst, but thriving because of it. Not just enduring their attacks, but empowered by them. Behold the perfect symmetry of spiritual justice, the divine verdict that requires no enforcement because it executes itself. They wanted the mountaintop without the climb, the victory without the battle, the testimony without the test, the crown without the cross, the glory without the story. Instead, they received the perfect response to their imperfect desires, suffering without reward, challenges without purpose, pain without transformation, burdens without blessings. They reached for your light but were given your shadows. They grabbed for your fruit but received your roots. They longed for your dance but inherited your desert. And yet, marvel at this truth, even in this divine correction lies mercy, for in experiencing what forged you, they're offered the opportunity to forge themselves. In tasting your trials, they're invited to discover their own purpose. In carrying what was meant for you, they might finally recognize what was meant for them. But while they grapple with this revelation, you stand at the threshold of your fullness. The cocoon has served its purpose. The furnace has completed its work. The waiting room has emptied, and your name echoes through the corridors of destiny. Step fully into what was always yours, not through theft or imitation, but through surrender to the process, through acceptance of the path, through faithfulness, in both darkness and light. Every tear you shed now glistens like diamonds on your crown. Every scar you bear now shines like badges of honor. Every moment of doubt you endured now serves as a foundation for unshakable faith. The divine ledger shows your account, paid in full. The cosmic scoreboard displays your victory, undisputed. The spiritual inheritance prepared for you remains, untouched by human schemes. Let them witness what authentic anointing looks like. Let them observe what genuine authority commands. Let them behold what true purpose accomplishes. Divine justice doesn't just punish the wrong, it confirms the right. It doesn't just expose the counterfeit, it authenticates the genuine. It doesn't just defeat the enemy, it crowns the chosen. Stand tall in that truth. Walk confidently in that reality. Live boldly in that assurance. For what God has declared cannot be undeclared. What heaven has established cannot be uprooted. What the divine has purposed cannot be thwarted. Even by those who wanted to be you,